Folks, still talking with Iyanla Vanzant, a New York Times bestselling author, and also, you know what? Damn that. Take that New York Times bestselling author out and say Essence bestselling author.
Absolutely, and National Book Club.
No, I mean, I'm serious. I know. I get. No, let me go ahead and just start right here. You know, I'm gonna deal with your show in a second, but white validation pisses me off.
It's obvious.
I mean, it does.
I can tell.
No, it does. It does because, and I think a lot of times, we are not conscious.
Sensitive to it. Absolutely.
We are not conscious
Absolutely.
when we say certain things that somehow validates who someone is versus, wait a minute, you got New York Times bestseller list, but Essence has a list as well.
And National Book. But I don't know, is it as much to validate me, or is it as much to prove to the people that I'm worth the time and attention?
No, what it is no different than when black players who were the better baseball players, it was, we got to get to the major leagues. Chris Rock said this in the Hollywood Reporter talking about race in Hollywood. He said, Jon Stewart can put 4,000 people in the venue.
Right.
And Kevin Hart can put 40,000 in the venue. That's right. But Kevin Hart has to cross over.
That's right.
Right.
He said 40,004.
Right.
Sounds like Kevin already crossed over. Right. And it's sort of this whole deal where look, I had a brother who literally hit me up saying, when are you gonna get a real show? I said, bro, I got a real show. Here's what he didn't realize. Give me a wide shot. Back up.
But we have to heal that too.
No. I'm saying but follow me here. No. I want you to see this here. This set we're sitting on. When Lester Holt comes here to do NBC Nightly News, he sits right here. Same table, same chair, same camera, same monitor. When Rachel Maddow comes here, sits right here. So the brother said, "You have a real show," and I went, "It's the exact same studio cameras and set that is on NBC." I said, so how do you not consider it real?
But that's what I'm saying when they say New York Times best-selling author, that I'm not just, printing my books at the local copy place and selling them out the trunk of my car. I did that, and that's how I got on the Essence bestseller list. So it's as much to validate me as it is to legitimize who we are in the eyes of the people, because we'll flip each other off too without you don't have a real show.
Right. But the point I want us to always think, do we have to allow somebody else to somehow validate or make it legitimate? Let's talk about
I am no longer a New York Times bestseller.
Damn it.
I was on the Essence bestseller list for 23 weeks in a row in #1. Before I was on the New York Times bestseller.
There you go. That's my whole point.
When I was selling my books out the car.
Thank you. That's what I'm talking about. See, fix that script. Let's talk about next season of Fix My Life. Let's roll the clip, folks, here of premiere season 2. Or was it 3? It's 3.
Season 3.
All right.
Wow. On a real show.
Right,
but
boom.
Lord, do not be gay.
Not openly gay.
Not openly gay. What does it mean to you to be gay? When I hear myself say, I am a gay man, I feel.
When I hear myself say, I am a gay man, I feel hurt. It makes me feel substandard. It makes me feel petrified.
Okay.
I feel lonely.
Yeah, take a breath. Talk to me about that loneliness.
The loneliness I feel is no one will love me.
Yeah. No one will love me, or no one loves me.
Drama.
Well, this show is not as much. I'm calling this season Let's Talk About It. And I'm looking at the things that we whisper about and talk about, or girl, did you see, or on Twitter, but will not come out loud and talk about. Black, gay men in the black church is something we whisper about all the time and roll our eyes up and compromise our own integrity. These men, this show is not as much about them being gay as it is about what we will force people to do to keep ourselves comfortable. And how we look at something and act like we don't see it, render ourselves blind, and then make it okay. These two men, there were 4 of them originally. 2 stayed, and then the other 2 just weren't ready, which is fine. These men are suffering. Not only are they suffering, they're in the pulpit leading people to freedom, and they're suffering. In addition, the devastation it causes in our families and our communities when we don't live authentically, when we lie. So this is about them being gay, but I hope the viewers will say, okay, where am I doing that? Where am I making other people comfortable? Where am I denying, diminishing myself in order to live up to the standard? We do it every day.
I completely agree. I not only did I find that segment to be particularly sort of moving, but I also think we can't release ourselves if we're oppressing within our own community.
That's right.
And whether that's gay men, whether it's how black men treat women,
yes.
Whether it's how we treat young people, whether it's people coming out of prison, people with HIV, as long as we demand a level of dishonesty and accommodation within our own community, not only can we not expect any better of ourselves, but we certainly can't expect any better of anyone outside of our community.
Yeah.
So it's an incredibly important conversation.
And one of the things I like about that clip you just played and what you just said is the aspect of the devastation that it causes in our community. This idea of hiding and lying and sort of engaging with women. You are a gay man, but here you are married with children, and you devastate the lives
yes.
of the people simply because you are hiding and what have you. And we force that person to do it.
Yes.
And I think that's what makes this so interesting. We actually force this person into the closet because many of us are not tolerant, or many of us don't understand it, many of us don't want it in our community. So I think it's incredible the work that you're doing.
And we will condemn and judge before we look at integrity, compassion, non-judgment, empathy, and then my thing is, as a spiritual technician, if we're doing this to ourselves in variety of areas in our community, we can only expect other people to do it to us. Right. So beyond the drama, yes, it is about 2 men in the black church, but being a black man who's gay, that's one set of issues. Being a black man minister, that's another set of issues. Being a black man minister in the black church.
And the worst criticisms come from the black church.
Absolutely. They talk about how they were in the pulpit denouncing homosexuality while sleeping with other ministers and knowing that they were gay themselves and leading people. That's as a minister, that's my concern. And there's a segment when I say, if you're standing in shame and in guilt and in inadequacy and isolation and fear, how are you serving God?
Season 3 premiere of Iyanla Fix My Life kicks off with an emotional 3-part multi-week episode on OWN. That is on Saturday. All right, we're going to put your grandsons to work.
All right, come on.
And that's right. And Essence best-selling author. That's how we do it. Iyanla, I appreciate it. Thanks so much.
I love you.
Thanks, darling.
Thank you.
Beloved.
Yes, beloved.
Jennifer Kyle, Doc is up next. She's talking about the ABCs of sickle cell disease, plus comedian Dion Cole. We break down the hit comedy Blackish on ABC. That's going to be an ignorant segment. We might need Iyanla to stay here to heal this show. News One now. Black network, black show, black host. Who decides what the hell the news is? Back in a moment.